Welcome to another Fireside Chat series. Today we have with us Duke Realty, which is a publicly traded REIT, one of the leading and premier national owners, developers, and managers of industrial real estate. They are in over 20 U.S. markets, have more than 150 million square feet of rentable space with just under $20 billion worth of enterprise value. They also practice sustainable development, committed to our environment to reduce waste, conserve energy, and water for a healthier, cleaner environment. From Duke, we have Ben Rosen, who has been involved in over $3 billion worth of transactions throughout his career. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We also have with us a few additional SIORs to help with the interview. We have Mr. Tom Vetter, Senior Vice President of NAI James E. Hanson, Alex Conte, Executive Vice President of the Blau and Berg Company and 2022 SIOR New Jersey President-elect. And our moderator for today will be Scott Perkins, Vice President of NAI James E. Hanson. Now, I'm going to give it to Scott now to explain the rules and format of today's event.
First, we're going to eat a very hot wing, and then we're going to ask Ben questions. And as the wings get hotter, so will the questions. The first sauce is a chile de arbo, which is a small, potent Mexican chili pepper, also known as the bird's beak chili. The heat index is between 15,000 and 30,000 Scoville units, and that's just our starter. Gentlemen.
Qualified.
Hey, who dipped?
Oh, this is good. A little honey.
Wait, yours is just honey?
Wait a minute. Oh, this is good.
It's not bad.
All right, Jason, if you have a question after devouring that?
That was good. So rates today have spiked over the last 6 months. A year ago, surface parking rates were roughly about $12,000 a month. That's where they were hovering. Nowadays, you're looking at $20,000 a month per acre, triple net, with increases. 12 months ago, or pre-COVID, you were looking at $3 million an acre. And now you have multiple deals that are over $5 million an acre. With land prices today increasing so quickly without the ability to use established comps, how do you value your acquisitions?
So you guys start eating chicken, and you think you can ask the Colonel his secret recipe for chicken? But you hit the nail on the head. Valuations have been skyrocketing. I would make the argument that the valuation increases that we've seen are directly because the rental rates have been increasing significantly and actually justify valuation increases. A perfect example, I mean, this is the first time in my career that I can remember where I'm looking at development projects and penciling out rents 2 or 3 years from now that have already occurred. There are already lease comps that have occurred. Typically, you have to be forward-looking with those. So in that regard, it gives me some support and conviction in underwriting our development projects. However, there's an old saying, don't confuse brains with a bull market. Everyone looks like a genius right now, and the market is red hot. Not every building, every land site is created equal and is worth what everyone thinks that it is worth. If you're disciplined in assessing risk-adjusted returns in the context of location, functionality, and price, you'll be ahead of the game in the long run.
Okay, here we go. Number 2, one of my favorites is Pirate's Lantern. Sam Lord, one of the most notorious pirates from the Isle of Barbados, hung lanterns near his castle to lure ships to his shore. There he plundered their many treasures. So there, the treasures including fine rums from the oldest distilleries in the Caribbean. Today, that same rum was infused with the pungency of mustard and horseradish. Enjoy, gentlemen.
You know, I find you use the third person quite a bit for someone who's not actually eating any of these wigs.
Eat up, I can't wait to the last one.
It's fine. It's fine.
Good.
Fine.
There's definitely honey in this one.
No,
Do you guys have any heat? There's
No,
nothing.
no.
That was good.
Duke Realty has plus or minus 8.5 million square feet in New Jersey with several additional properties under its control. Currently, plywood is up 44% and softwood lumber up 80% within the last year. Iron and steel scrap prices up 45% year over year, while copper wire up 18% and diesel fuel up 36% year over year. The price of oil is back to $60 a US barrel. However, year over year, cement is only up 3%, construction sand 3.9%, asphalt 1.4%, and steel bars, plates, and structural shapes 15%. Ben, how have construction costs affected your determination in property value compared with the rise in land value along with the high volume of demand for distribution centers to fulfill e-commerce demand?
Well, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is the construction cost increases have been staggering, and we've been going to great lengths to try and preserve our budgets and our timelines. And in many instances, the timelines are the ones that are even more jeopardy than our budgets. We're looking at having to order steel and other hard costs way ahead of time, even before we have full approvals, just to maintain our schedules and maintain our costs. So that's the bad news. The good news is, other than saving a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico, but the good news is we believe that these short-term increases will hopefully be short-lived and not going out indefinitely. Two, we see that this is broad-based. It's across the market, and it's in many ways priced in. If tenants need space, which they continue to need space, and with vacancy rates where they are at 1%, we view this as the rental rates are still outpacing the increase in construction costs. And thirdly, in our market in New Jersey, with land values where they are, and in many instances exceeding 50% of the total project costs, even though you're having double-digit increases in your hard costs, your construction costs, the impact is actually much less dramatic because your hard costs are only, say, 30 plus or minus % of your overall project costs, and so it's not quite as punitive. But in the long run, we're very bullish, and we're doing everything we can to maintain our budgets and our schedules so we can keep our pipeline going.
Follow-up question to that. So are you more concerned about getting the product and material versus the actual cost increases?
Well, we're concerned about both, but I do think some of the bigger risks from our perspective are actually getting the materials when you need it, because if you need steel on a certain date for your project schedule and you don't have it, it starts snowballing, and instead of day for day, cost increases, and time increases, it's times 2 or times 3 as far as the multiple. And so really we're going to great lengths to maintain our schedules, but we're still going full steam.
So how far in advance do you have to order steel in order for it to show up on time?
That is a very good question. We have a couple of projects right now that we're 9 to 12 months out, and we're already placing orders.
And this is before entitlements.
Yes, I mean, ideally we don't do that, but sometimes you have to. And I've heard longer for some issues. So you have to be really forward-looking and consider a lot in today's times.
Okay, we are at the next wing, which is a level 5, Tears of the Suns. So this one is a deliciously dangerous blend of habanero peppers and tropical fruit. Your taste buds will be greeted by sweetness of mango, papaya, peaches, and pineapple with notes of ghost scorpion peppers.
Did you write these?
Wow.
Yes. I smell the papaya.
How about the ghost
Is it-
scorpions?
No,
I don't taste the scorpion.
There's a tinge of mango in there too.
Did you use the right sauces?
No, this isn't bad.
You guys are doing great with this.
Yeah, I know.
I actually taste chicken on that one.
No,
There was a hint of chicken.
I mean, it's
you guys get that?
It's a little hotter.
Is
It's
that-
real in the mouth, but it's not that bad.
Now I got a little scorpion.
You're really getting in there, Jason.
But no one's crying.
So Ben, the logistics industry has been and continues to be a dependable and sustainable source of economic activity, pushing growth and employment. Duke Realty has had a large part in facilitating this in our industry. Having said that, how do you compare New Jersey's market with Miami, Chicago, and Long Beach?
We're better. We have a nationwide footprint. We're in 20 major markets around the country. So we have a pretty good vantage point about what's going on around the country. It's no secret that as a company, we are shifting some of our geographic focus more towards the tier 1 coastal markets, such as New Jersey. That has been very deliberate and dramatic in recent years. You've seen how much we've been growing in these markets. New Jersey, for example, we've grown by over 5 million square feet in the past 4.5 years since I joined. And our goal in the Northeast is to grow north of 20 million square feet in the next 3 or 4 years. So that is our goal. Comparing what's going on in our market to the other markets around the country, I think New Jersey, from what I can tell, is pretty similar to what's going on in Southern California and Long Beach. In South Florida, is also a very strong infill market. But the dynamics of what we do in these ultra competitive infill markets with rental rates growing the way they are is a little bit different than the Midwest and where there's more land and less infill. The term is high barrier markets, high barrier to entry markets. There's a reason for why it's hard to get here, hard to construct buildings. It takes longer. There's more risk associated with it, but that's why we've gotten the benefit of the rental growth and the low vacancy rates, et cetera. It's not quite as robust and red hot in some of the other markets around the country.
So as a follow-up question, traditionally you have Long Beach and the New York, New Jersey metropolitan port area. They're very similar. But in this day and age, you've got a lot of people coming, a lot of e-commerce companies and companies coming from, and 3PLs coming from Long Beach over to New Jersey, thinking that they need 6 months free rent or they need 4 months free rent. And in this market where we're verging upon 1% of vacancy here, I mean, traditionally, right now you're given what, 1 month free rent, if that. How do you see that preliminary, the tenants coming to you, and how do you react to that?
It's definitely a landlord's market right now, and tenants that are coming from out of town that don't appreciate how tight the market is are learning very quickly because they're losing out on space. And that's really the analysis they have to do internally, which is, can we afford to not find a building or to go 50 miles further away or to go to a significantly less functional building over a concession they might otherwise have gotten 5 years ago or in another market. So you're seeing, typically it's very tight. You're seeing multiple tenants bidding over the same space and bidding up the rents. You're seeing tenants that are blue chip, incredible companies who've tied up a building but don't sign the lease fast enough, get bumped by other companies that come in quicker at a higher rent because it's that competitive. And so we try to be somewhat fair, in terms of working with tenants that we have relationships with around the country and work with them, but the market speaks for itself and will dictate where things need to go. And a lot of times we don't even need to be the ones that are one-upping the other tenants. The tenants are doing it themselves as they compete for the space.
And they need to work expeditiously in order to get that space.
The one thing I tell tenants, if they really want the best spaces, they got to be more forward-looking and thinking. I get calls almost every week, maybe multiple times a week, from brokers asking if I have anything for next quarter, 2-3 quarters from now, later this year, and the answer is no. It's just nothing. And we've got a lot of projects coming, but it's just all the stuff that was delivering this year has already been leased and was leased a long time ago.
I heard that the number was roughly about 86% of pre-leased construction. I mean, it's staggering. It's exciting and it's staggering at the same time.
Absolutely, and that number has been hovering, in the high 70s, 80s for several years now, and so that's different from our traditional past where you underwrite 12 months of downtime, for a development. But nowadays, it's definitely the opposite, where you're pre-leasing stuff before sometimes you even start construction. It gets the most competitive and most dynamic for a space, when you're 6 to 9 months out, the walls and the steel are already going up. That's when tenants know it's real, they're willing to commit, and that's when it gets really hot.
Speaking of hot, we're going to the Brain Burner, which is a level 7. It's fused with Carolina Reaper and Scotch bonnet peppers. It delivers a dose of capsaicin, which explodes straight through the cerebellum, sending rational thought out the window. So let's eat one.
All right.
Should one of these guys ask this question? I feel like
They should, right?
This is going to be another level.
Again, so it's not bad, and then the Reaper creeps right up.
Do you feel the Reaper?
It literally goes up your nostrils.
This was actually good. I mean, the best one so far.
you're immediately going to the milk.
So how do you feel? Someone say,
I feel like I got some of the peppers that belonged on their wing, mine.
It's pretty good.
Jason could have done that. All I hear is pretty good.
It's not that bad.
I think it's delicious.
I'm pretty sure my armpits
I'm looking forward to the next
are
one.
open. Well,
Next question. With the explosion of e-commerce, we are seeing warehouse rentals increase over 7% in the last 2 quarters alone. FedEx pre-leased a Morris Company's development, 873,000 square feet off of Doremus Avenue in Newark for over $19 a square foot. And Logan Township is quoting $750 a square foot. The rates just keep on going up. So Ben, with the rates going up, are you better off leaving the building vacant, waiting for that credit tenant? Or are you better off leasing when the tenant comes around?
Wait, what's going on, Jason?
We may need more milk. Milk's out the nose.
Ah, look at that.
We already got the milk out the nose.
You got a little Scoville on that, didn't you?
Wow.
Okay.
We're gonna need some more milk.
Yep.
I got hot quick.
Tommy's still good.
Yeah, I'm all right.
I feel great.
All right. All
Feel
right,
great.
Ben.
It's like an ice cream cone.
So what's the best course of action?
So it's funny. We always joke about how every time you miss a deal, the rents go up.
I can't even look how sweaty he is.
That's good.
I feel like my lips are burning off.
Good.
You're right. He's going to tap out fast.
It's you and me, Tommy.
Sorry, Ben. These two.
This is no problem. This is the whole point.
No, we're good. We're
So
good. I'm still in.
We do joke about how when you miss a deal, the rents go up, or billings are encumbered by a lease. But in reality, it's kind of been playing out that way in recent moments. It's common sense when you're seeing rental rates that are increasing by approximately 10% a year for several years in a row. If you signed a deal with 3% or 3.5% rental increases, if you wait a little bit longer, the market rent's going to outpace it. So it is funny though, because sometimes you feel all excited. You strike a new record-breaking rent deal. By the time you sign the lease, like it feels okay, and by the time they move in, it's below market significantly, and it's just kind of the nature of the beast. So it's just something that we have to manage and try and find out the right time to strike a deal, not too early. And
So I can tell you what we're doing, new developments where we'll quote a rent. We're not even saying it's an asking rent. We'll say it's guidance and it's good until midnight tonight. And then if you don't make a deal by then, it might change tomorrow.
yep, that is something that we've seen as well.
You're glistening.
What's that?
You're glistening. Can you hear me?
His ears are burning. We're Irish. We're used to cabbage and potatoes. Not this.
I'm all right. I'm good. I'm good.
We're at a level 9 now. This one's called the Widowmaker. It's Aussie-made sauce, has 6 different super spicy peppers, which should allow you to feel the inside of your stomach.
Check.
Aussie style. I'm gonna make sure you eat this. I'm gonna watch you. You're gonna throw it under your chair.
Looks like a crime scene.
It does.
got it, Jason.
Tommy, how you feeling?
I'm okay
Tommy,
at the moment.
Mr. Cool and
This
Calm
one's
and
coming on
Collected.
hard.
How about you?
It's a little peppery, a little bit like chocolate.
Jason, bite.
Not really, buddy.
You don't have to eat the whole thing. Just get one good bite.
Now, do we let it sink in?
I found that one to be quite delicious, mild yet intricate, if you will.
What did you taste?
The magnitude of spices that were put into that, really vexing, if you will. I could go for another. Thank you.
I feel as though
My
every
compliments to the
orifice in my
chef.
body
Famous
is
last
now
words.
All right, well, while we wait for them to cool off, I'll ask you my next question.
That was hot.
That was hot.
It's getting hotter.
That was quite delicious. And we'll move on to cryptocurrency, one of my favorite topics. What exactly is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is becoming more and more interesting to watch these days. When will Duke Realty accept Dogecoin or any other type of cryptocurrency from its tenants as rental payments today?
Jason, you're leaking.
So here are the hard-hitting questions. Unfortunately, we do not accept Dogecoin, although that may have paid off pretty well if we had done that previously. But I'm actually still waiting for the Blau coin. I'm just waiting for it.
It's on its way.
That is the solution that we're waiting for.
Tommy, good?
Still here.
All right.
Wow.
I feel as though my tongue is getting severed.
Let's move on then. So now, this one's a level 10. It's the hot one. This one's from the Reaper edition, known for its immediate mouth-burning heat, similar to making out with a flamethrower.
That's comforting.
I think you guys are gonna love this one,
Ah,
and it's not gonna affect you at all, right?
that's hot.
We'll find out.
Okay.
I'm running out of milk, though. Guys ready?
Yeah, you can go first.
I think I have been.
Well, yeah.
Let's go.
You're making them look
I think
silly.
the water makes it
Look
worse.
at Tommy.
Jason,
I think it does.
Wow, he
I
just
think
went
it does.
at it.
you got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna dip this one.
Look at this. He wants more.
Wow.
And he ate the whole thing.
Aren't you supposed to eat the whole thing?
Well, look at your
Guys,
competitors.
you gotta eat the whole thing.
Tommy's.
Guys, can I eat the next one, or do we have to wait? You guys want to wait for the next one, or should we go right in? You guys want to go in?
Who thought of this event?
I think we thought it was a good idea.
I can't taste the difference between the milk and the water at this point.
Guys, these are delicious. I don't know what you're complaining about. I'm really enjoying myself.
I think the
get
sauce
yours.
is coming out of my nose.
You'll get yours.
So yours just has honey mustard on it, right?
I guess these are all honey mustard. Maybe I got the one that's not hot. Because one of these trays isn't hot today.
Wow, he
think
just
you
went
guys-
at it.
You got it.
Waiter,
just yours.
milk.
And I'd love to hear from my fellow
Yeah,
past
Jason.
president and current president of SIOR how they feel about their wings.
Wings are delicious. They're really outstanding.
All right, let's get to the next
I
one.
can't feel my face.
Well, you know, that brings on the last one, which is called The Last Dab Apollo. On a scale of 1 to 10, this one goes to 11. Known as the King of Mount Scoville, carefully bred by the Guinness World of Record holding heritage to new heights, capsaicin packing more concentrated punch than any of its forebears. The heat is akin to you having your head slowly lit afire, which I think has already happened with you. As you would say, it's a delightful sauce that can ruin your entire day. So, gentlemen, let's end with this one.
Gentlemen, to honor.
It's an honor.
Leave no man behind. Tommy?
Wow.
Okay, let's do it.
Technique. Look at the technique. I think you're cheating. Jason's hanging in there. He did it.
My eyelids are actually burning. So, Ben, the consumer-driven recovery that we're experiencing now has placed the U.S. economy back to its pre-pandemic peak. With the vast amount of people now being vaccinated, do you see this market continuing to grow beyond this year along with e-commerce demand? And what's your outlook for the next year to 3 years?
Thanks for the question. I'm going to take a very long time drag this.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben.
I am very bullish on the near and long term for this market. The fundamentals are truly there, and everyone talks about this being a supply story. That's part of it, but it's also very much a demand story. The demand has been strong. Vacancies are at 1%. You need a lot to go wrong for many years in a row before you can get back to a normal environment. I'm bullish. I think e-commerce is going to keep being a massive driver in the local population, the ports, the infrastructure, and everything. I'm truly excited.
Tommy, you have
For
a follow-up
this near
question? Your
future.
eye seems to be popping out.
I don't have anything to say right now.
Jason, you must have a thought that could add to this question.
I actually have no idea what Ben just said.
I think since you didn't hear what Ben said, maybe you just want to wrap it up. I'm sure you have a thought.
I don't have a tongue right now. I don't have an upper lip, a lower lip. My insides just feel like a burning cavern. Every orifice is now open. It's all exits, ready to go. All right, well, gentlemen, thank you very much for this delectable evening or event. That concludes the edition of our Fireside Tasting. Thank you to everybody that participated, especially our sponsor, NAI James E. Hanson and Ben Rosen from Duke Realty.
Oh, well, thanks, guys. You made it all the way through. Congratulations. Thanks, Ben.
Can I give you a very important piece of advice?
Yes.
Wash your hands before you go to the bathroom.
Under his eyes. Under his eyes.
Popping out.
I don't feel it.
Thank you, everyone.